Good morning. Today's Bible reading comes from Judges 9 through 12. Abimelech, son of Jerub-Baal, went to Shechem to his uncles and all his mother's relatives and said to them, "Ask all the leading men of Shechem, what do you think is best, that 70 men rule you, all those sons of Jerub-Baal, or that one man rule? You will remember that I am your own flesh and blood." His mother's relatives reported the proposal to the leaders of Shechem. They were inclined to take Abimelech, because, they said, he is, after all, one of us. They gave him 70 silver pieces from the shrine of Baal of the covenant. With the money he hired some reckless riffraff soldiers, and they followed along after him. He went to his father's house in Ophrah and killed his half-brothers, the sons of Jerub-Baal, the 70 men, and on one stone. The youngest, Jotham, son of Jerub-Baal, managed to hide, the only survivor. Then all the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo gathered at the oak by the standing stone at Shechem and crowned Abimelech king. When this was all told to Jotham, he climbed to the top of Mount Gerizim, raised his voice, and shouted, "Listen to me, leaders of Shechem, and let God listen to you." The trees set out one day to anoint a king for themselves. They said to the olive tree, "Rule over us." But olive tree told them, "Am I no longer good for making oil that gives glory to gods and men, and to be demoted to waving over trees?" The trees then said to the fig tree, "You come and rule over us." But the fig tree said to them, "Am I no longer good for making sweets, my mouth-watering sweet fruits, and to be demoted to waving over trees?" The trees said to the vine, "You come and rule over us." But vine said to them, "Am I no longer good for making wine, wine that cheers gods and men, and to be demoted to waving over trees?" All the trees then said to tumbleweed, "You come and reign over us." But tumbleweed said to the trees, "If you're serious about making me your king, come and find shelter in my shade. But if not, let fire shoot from tumbleweed and burn down the cedars of Lebanon." Now listen, do you think you did a right and honorable thing when you made Abimelech king? Do you think you treated Jerub-Baal and his family well, did for him what he deserved? My father fought for you, risked his own life, and rescued from Midian's tyranny, and you have just now betrayed him. You massacred his sons, 70 men, on a single stone. You made Abimelech the son by his maidservant king over Shechem's leaders because he's your relative. If you think that this is an honest day's work, this way you have treated Jerub-Baal today, then enjoy Abimelech and let him enjoy you. But if not, let fire break from Abimelech and burn up the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo. And let fire break from the leaders of Shechem and Beth Millo and burn up Abimelech. And Jotham fled. He ran for his life. He went to Beer and settled down there because he was afraid of his brother Abimelech. Abimelech ruled over Israel for 3 years. Then God brought bad blood between Abimelech and Shechem's leaders, who now worked treacherously behind his back. Violence boomeranged. The murderous violence that killed the 70 brothers, the sons of Jerub-Baal, was now loose among Abimelech and Shechem's leaders, who had supported the violence. To undermine Abimelech, Shechem's leaders put men in ambush on the mountain passes who robbed travelers on those roads, and Abimelech was told. At that time, Gaal, son of Ebed, arrived with his relatives and moved into Shechem. The leaders of Shechem trusted him. One day they went out into the fields, gathered grapes in the vineyards, and trod them in the winepress. Then they held a celebration in their God's temple, a feast, eating and drinking. and then they started putting down Abimelech. Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is this Abimelech? And who are we, Shechemites, to take orders from him? Isn't he the son of Jerubbaal, and isn't this his henchman Zebul? We belong to the race of Hamor, and bear the noble name of Shechem. Why should we be toadies of Abimelech? If I were in charge of this people, the first thing I'd do is get rid of Abimelech. I'd say, 'Show me your stuff, Abimelech. Let's see who's boss here.'" Zebul, governor of the city, heard what Gaal, son of Ebed, was saying and got angry. Secretly, he sent messengers to Abimelech with the message, "Gaal, son of Ebed, and his relatives have come to Shechem and are stirring up trouble against you. Here's what you do. Tonight, bring your troops and wait in ambush in the field. In the morning, as soon as the sun breaks, get moving and charge the city. Gaal and his troops will come out to you, and you'll know what to do next." Abimelech and his troops, 4 companies of them, went up that night and waited, in ambush, approaching Shechem. Gaal, son of Ebed, had gotten up and was standing in the city gate. Abimelech and his troops left their cover. When Gaal said to them, he said to Zebul, "Look at that, people coming down from the tops of the mountains." Zebul said, "That's nothing but mountain shadows. They just look like men." Gaal kept chattering away. Then he said again, "Look at the troops coming down off Tabor Erez, the navel of the world, and 1 company coming straight for the Oracle Oak." Zebul said, "Where is that big mouth of yours now? You who said, 'And who is Abimelech, that we should take orders from him?' Well, there he is with the troops you ridiculed. Here's your chance. Fight away." Baal went out, backed by the leaders of Shechem, and did battle with Abimelech. Abimelech chased him, and Gaal turned tail and ran. Many fell wounded right up to the city gate. Abimelech set up his field headquarters at Aramah, while Zebul kept Gaal and his relatives out of Shechem. The next day the people went out to the fields. This was reported to Abimelech. He took his troops, divided them into 3 companies, and placed them in ambush in the fields. When he saw that the people were well out in the open, he sprang up and attacked them. Abimelech and the company with him charged ahead and took control of the entrance to the city gate. The other 2 companies chased down those who were in the open fields and killed them. Abimelech fought at the city all that day. He captured the city and massacred everyone in it. He leveled the city to the ground, then sowed it with salt. When the leaders connected with Shechem's tower heard this, they went into the fortified God of the Covenant temple. This was reported to Abimelech that Shechem's tower bunch were gathered together. He and his troops climbed Mount Zalmon, dark mountain. Abimelech took his axe and chopped a bundle of firewood, picked it up, and put it on his shoulder. He said to his troops, "Do what you've seen me do, and quickly." So each of his men cut his own bundle. They followed Abimelech, piled their bundles against the tower fortifications, and set the whole structure on fire. Everyone in Shechem's tower died, about 1,000 men and women. Abimelech went on to Thebez. He camped at Thebez and captured it. The Tower of Strength stood in the middle of the city. All the men and women of the city, along with the city's leaders, had fled there and locked themselves in. They were up on the tower roof. Abimelech got as far as the tower and assaulted it. Came up to the tower door to set it on fire. Just then some woman dropped an upper millstone on his head and crushed his skull. He called urgently to his young armor-bearer and said, "Draw your sword and kill me so they can't say of me, 'A woman killed me.'" His armor-bearer drove in his sword, and Abimelech died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech was dead, they went home. God avenged the evil Abimelech had done to his father, murdering his 70 brothers, and God brought down on the heads of the men of Shechem all the evil that they had done, the curse of Jotham, son of Jerubbaal. Tola, son of Pua, the son of Dodo, was next after Abimelech. He rose to the occasion to save Israel. He was a man of Issachar. He lived in Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. He judged Israel for 23 years and then died and was buried at Shamir. After him, Jair the Gileadite stepped into leadership. He judged Israel for 22 years. He had 30 sons who rode on 30 donkeys and had 30 towns in Gilead. The towns are still called Jair's villages. Jair died and was buried in Kaman. And then the people of Israel went back to doing evil in God's sight. They worshipped the Baal gods and Ashtaroth goddesses, gods of Aram, Sidon, and Moab, gods of the Ammonites and the Philistines. They just walked off and left God, quit worshiping him. And God exploded in hot anger at Israel and sold them off to the Philistines and Ammonites, who beginning that year bullied and battered the people of Israel mercilessly. For 18 years they had them under their thumb, all the people of Israel, who lived east of the Jordan in the Amorite country of Gilead. Then the Ammonites crossed the Jordan to go to war against Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. Israel was in a bad way. The people of Israel cried out to God for help. We've sinned against you. We left our God and worshipped the Baal gods. God answered the people of Israel. When the Egyptians, Amorites, Ammonites, Philistines, Sidonians, even Amalek and Midian oppressed you and you cried out to me for help, I saved you from them. And now you've gone off and betrayed me, worshiping other gods. I'm not saving you anymore. Go ahead, cry out for help to the gods you've chosen. Let them get you out of the mess you're in. The people of Israel said to God, we've sinned. Do to us whatever you think best, but please get us out of this. Then they cleaned house of the foreign gods and worshipped only God. And God took Israel's troubles to heart. The Ammonites prepared for war, setting camp in Gilead. The people of Israel set their rival camp in Mizpah. The leaders in Gilead said, who will stand up for us against the Ammonites? We'll make him head over everyone in Gilead. Jephthah, the Gileadite, was one tough warrior. He was the son of a whore, but Gilead was his father. Meanwhile, Gilead's legal wife had given him other sons, and when they grew up, his wife's sons threw Jephthah out. And I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. They told him, you're not getting any of our family inheritance. You're the son of another woman. So Jephthah fled from his brothers and went to live in the land of Tob. Some riffraff joined him and went around with him. Some time passed, and then the Ammonites started fighting Israel. With the Ammonites at war with them, the elders of Gilead went to Jephthah from the land of Tob. They said to Jephthah, come, be our general, and we'll fight the Ammonites. But Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, but you hate me. You kicked me out of my family home. So why are you coming to me now? Because you are in trouble, right? The elders of Gilead replied, that's it exactly. We've come to you to get you to go with us and fight the Ammonites. You'll be the head of all of us, all the Gileadites. Jephthah addressed the elders of Gilead. So if you bring me back home to fight the Ammonites and God gives them to me, I'll be your head. Is that right? They said, God is witness between us. Whatever you say, we'll do. Jephthah went along with the elders of Gilead. They made him their top man and general, and Jephthah repeated what he had said before God at Mizpah. Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites with a message. What's going on here that you have come into my country, picking a fight? The king of the Ammonites told Jephthah's messengers, because Israel took my land when they came up out of Egypt, from the Arnon all the way to the Jabbok and to the Jordan. Give it back peaceably, and I'll go. The king of Jephthah again sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites with the message, Jephthah's word. Israel took no Moabite land and no Ammonite land. When they came up from Egypt, Israel went through the desert as far as the Red Sea, arriving at Kadesh. There Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, Let us pass through your land, please. But the king of Edom wouldn't let them. Israel also requested permission from the king of Moab, but he wouldn't let them cross either. They were stopped in their tracks at Kadesh, so they traveled across the desert and circled around the lands of Edom and Moab. They came out east of the land at Moab and set camp on the other side of the Arnon. They didn't set foot in Moabite territory, for Arnon was the Moabite border. Israel then sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites at Heshbon, the capital. Israel asked, Let us pass, please, through your land on the way to our country. But Sihon didn't trust Israel to cut across his land, got his entire army together, set up camp at Jahaz, and fought Israel. But God, the God of Israel, gave Sihon and all his troops to Israel. Israel defeated them. Israel took all the Amorite land, all Amorite land from Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the desert to the Jordan. It was God, the God of Israel, who pushed out the Amorites in favor of Israel. So who do you think you're trying to take it over? Why don't you just be satisfied with what your God Chemosh gives you, and we'll settle for what God, our God, gives us? Do you think you're going to come off better than Balak, son of Zippor, the king of Moab? Did he get anywhere in opposing Israel? Did he risk war? All this time, it's been 300 years now, that Israel has lived in Heshbon and its villages, in Arar and its villages, and all the towns along the Arnon. Why didn't you try to snatch them away then? No, I haven't wronged you, but this is an evil thing that you are doing to me by starting a fight. Today, God, the judge, will decide between the people of Israel and the people of Ammon. But the king of the Ammonites refused to listen to a word Jephthah had sent him. God's spirit came upon Jephthah, then he crossed across Gilead and Manasseh, went through Mishpah of Gilead, and from there approached the Ammonites. Jephthah made a vow before God. If you give me a clear victory over the Ammonites, then I'll give to God whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me. When I return in one piece from among the Ammonites, I'll offer it up in a sacrificial burnt offering. Then Jephthah was off to fight the Ammonites, and God gave them to him. He beat them soundly, all the way from Arar to the area around Minnith, as far as Abel Keramim, 20 cities, a massacre. Ammonites brought to their knees by the people of Israel. Jephthah came home to Mishpah. His daughter ran from the house to welcome him home, dancing to tambourines. She was his only child. He had no son or daughter except her. When he realized who it was, he ripped his clothes, saying, Oh, dearest daughter, I'm dirt, I'm despicable. My heart is torn to shreds. I made a vow to God, and I can't take it back. She said, Dear father, if you made a vow to God, do to me what you vowed. God did his part and saved you from your Ammonite enemies. And then she said to her father, But let this one thing be done for me. Give me 2 months to wander through the hills and lament my virginity, since I will never marry, I and my dear friends. Oh, yes, go, he said. He sent her off for 2 months. She and her dear girlfriends went among the hills, lamenting that she would never marry. At the end of the 2 months, she came back to her father. He fulfilled the vow with her that he had made. She had never slept with a man. It became a custom in Israel that for 4 days every year the young women of Israel went out to mourn for the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite. The men of Ephraim mustered their troops, crossed the Zephon, and said to Jephthah, "Why did you go out to fight the Ammonites without letting us go with you? We're going to burn your house down on you." Jephthah said, "I and my people had our hands full negotiating with the Ammonites, and did I call to you for help, but you ignored me? When I saw that you weren't coming, I took my life in my hands and confronted the Ammonites myself, and God gave them to me. So why did you show up here today? Are you spoiling for a fight with me?" So Jephthah got his Gilead troops together and fought Ephraim, and the men of Gilead hit them so hard because they were saying, "Gileadites are nothing but half-breeds and rejects from Ephraim and Manasseh." Gilead captured the fords of the Jordan at the crossing to Ephraim. If an Ephraimite fugitive said, "Let me cross," the men of Gilead would ask, "Are you an Ephraimite?" And he would say, "No." And they would say Shibboleth. But he would always say Sibboleth. He couldn't say it right. Then they would grab him and kill him there at the fords of the Jordan. 42 Ephraimite divisions were killed on that occasion. Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Jephthah the Gileadite died and was buried in his city, Mishpah of Gilead. After him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. He had 30 sons and 30 daughters. Gave his daughters in marriage outside his clan and brought in 30 daughter-in-laws from the outside for his sons. He judged Israel 7 years. Ibzan died and was buried in Bethlehem. After him, Elon the Zebulunite judged Israel. He judged Israel 10 years. Elon the Zebulunite died and was buried at Ajalon in the land of Zebulun. After him, Abdon, son of Hillel, Pirathonite, judged Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys. He judged Israel 8 years. Abdon, son of Hillel, Pirathonite, died and was buried at Pirathon in the land of Ephraim in the Amalekite hill country. And that is it for today's Bible reading. As always, get in touch with God today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.